All praise to the Most High. Yeah, that sound good, y'all. Colo, what we doing?
Hey, cook that up, Khalid.
We still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me, vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Haunt the city, that's how we live. Look here, homie, we still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me, vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Haunt the city, that's how we live. Look here, homie, be still. They said you got the call, they trying to blackball you. Like what they own, bro. You can't blackball a boss. The whole world, they hate this right here. The way you hate your neighbor, might as well pull the trigger on yourself. You know we get excited by the smoke. Every day we casting flesh. Say my treasure stored in heaven, we gon' blow the rest. They disrespected and we check the bank that causing kept it still. They asking others about my business, but I ain't got no instant miss. See, I still deal with ox direct. Cause your person don't mean you respect. Your outlet don't get no credit if the ox ain't in it. Money answer all things and you got all these questions. Playing Vic. Look, I employ slavery. I'll if you broke your say. Yeah, them crews in the hood, Jews in the hood. I caught them clues, now I'm good. I broke it down, he understood my all to you. Filtered through, you found a few, I'm good. We what we sold, this here exclusive. They like, hey, folk, look what you doing. We still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me, vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Haunt the city, that's how we live. Look here, homie, we still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me, vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Haunt the city, that's how we live. Look here, homie, be still. Most I told me, be still, give her room to work. Know my movie work. Your faith ain't good, don't put the work in. In the spirit flexing, that my day job. Getting the mode out my own, I don't know what they are. Before I got the blueprint, and I'm too legit to quit. Let it spark in the dark, be a light, got it lit. Trying to map my movement, got my haters pondering. The odds set the question there, they wanna know if you still lit. It hit different, you authentic, a lot of odds pretending. We do it for the Lord, got my own motion, who are you to judge? Put Most High first, none above. Tap in the spirit, we locked in, they'll come against your plot. You know Judas said, yeah, we spit them scripts, they bailing out. Came on slave ships, then you not black. You know they tell you everything. Isaiah 30:20, yeah, we bad. You see what happened when they tried to rail the train up off the track. False witness, hypocrite. We throw shots back, now they feel heat. Must go get it. We still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me, vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Haunt the city, that's how we live. Look here, homie, we still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me, vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Haunt the city, that's how we live. Look here, homie, be still.
Well, all right. Once again, putting it down for you and yours, it is the Lion's Den. And this is the segment titled, The Conversation Continues. Talking about what's on your mind. And we are your hosts, the Dynamic 2. You got the seventh answer, Lady Karima, along with Brother Malachi, Big Baby Hebrew. You know, Shai, he's on hiatus, but he'll be back somewhere down the line. But in the meantime, between time, you got the two of us, and we gonna make it happen. And we back, y'all. And we back, y'all. Back at the back, y'all. Now, as always, when you tune to the Lion's Den, you're tuning in to the ultimate truthality social media platform. Okay? Not putting down anybody else. We're just exalting us to the highest of the high. You know, out here in this black media, you know, how you say, kaleidoscope. Now, of course, when you tune in with us, you know you're about to get hit with the formula that makes the Lion's Den tick, that makes this show, the conversation tick, the 7 eyes. That is the intelligence, integrity, inspiration, influence, independence, insight, information, which all equal the sum of the facts. We bring you the frequently accurate, correct truths here, bar none. And when you roll with the lions, you also are rolling with the pride, because we're PRIDE, always permanently ready and destroying evil, starting with our own. And of course, you know we're one of the many anti-coon factions. And what's a coon? A complete, obvious, obedient, yes, a boss nigga. So there ain't no handkerchief head, no pickaninnies, no buck dancing, no bed wenching, no buck breaking over here. We stand solid as men and women, driven for the whole truth, not but the truth, but the gospel truth. And we give honor to the Lord in Christ, from whom all positive thoughts flow. And also, we're the home of point counterpoint, because sometimes we may not see eye to eye all the time. We may have differences of opinion. We may be unaware of certain things. So therefore, point counterpoint come into play, which is another way of saying debate. But it's all for the good, greater good of making sure everyone stays honest, stands on being able to know what they're talking about. All right, and if there's a little weakness in our thoughts process, there's each one, teach one, reach one. It's always done in love. And of course, you're also being hit with Virgo energy. All right. Yeah, we're analytical, political, critical, but we always strive to never be hypocritical. All right. And last but not least, we're almost there. We also come in the spirit of Isaiah, the 41st chapter of the Bible, verses 21 through 24, which tells us to be ready, willing, and able at all times to produce our cause and bring forth our strong evidence. And also 1 Thessalonians 5, the 5th chapter, verse 21 of the Bible tells us always be what? Ready to prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. And we here on the Lion's Den, the seventh answer, myself, Baby Hebrew, and JT Raw, we always are sympathetic and empathetic to those of you out there who may be allergic to the truth. You can't handle the facts. You can't deal with the hardcore reality that we bring here. And again, we're sympathetic and empathetic, but we're not gonna compromise it for nobody. So if you can't handle the truth, if you can't handle the facts, nor reality that we're gonna delve into, skedaddle, leave, break out, make haste, and go that way, left or right. Because we assure you, you will not be missed. And last, but certainly not least, one of the house rules set forth by
You,
our sister in
you
faith.
went out a little bit.
Oh, I did. Am I back? Uh-oh. Am I back? Uh-oh. Am I being heard? Well,
Yeah, you back. You back. You back.
okay,
Yeah,
just want to make sure. Thank you.
you back.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come into the Lion's Den, as set forth by Iron Manner, you wipe your feet, you mind your manners, conduct yourself in an orderly manner, and enjoy yourself. Because if at any given time you want to get out of pocket, well, the lioness, the seventh answer, she gonna swoop in and kick you up out of here, break you down with the quickness, work you out like physical fitness, hit you with somebody, get the F up out of here. Not even a Jehovah will witness. Okay? And all I'm gonna do is sit back and say, because you were told. If we're gonna be hospitable host, you better be a hospitable guest. because we don't deal with rude guests here ever. And now with all these formalities out the way, tonight we're gonna take you down. Let's talk money, y'all. Let's talk the economy. You know, and I'm gonna dedicate this episode to one of the pioneers of the hip hop game. Once he was known in life as Jimmy Spicer, also known as Super Rhymes. I'm gonna dedicate this show to his memory since we talk about money. Or some of us got it, some of us don't. And seventh answer, I just sent off one of the last entry. Okay, I don't know if we can use it or not, but it's a hot song that you had the Wu-Tang Clan and so many other rap groups. They took from this particular song to make Cash Rules Everything Around Me. Quick, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. You know, you had other groups that talked about money, but Jimmy Spicer did it first in a rap. Okay, hardcore. Sure, we had the OJs back in the day. With money, 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 money. Okay, but this one here, this particular Jimmy Spicer joint, if you don't remember this beat and remember this joint, I want to put you up on we're gonna put you up on hip hop awareness and under fair use, it can be used because this ain't a monetized joint, all right? So if you can find that entry, Lady Karima, we talking about the money tonight, yo. We talking about America. Hey, Trump, I thought you said it was gonna be America first. So show me the money or give me my money. Okay? We see what's transpiring out here, and it is ugly. It is brutal out here, y'all. We have now a host of federal workers during this government shutdown, because, they're still trying to keep us distracted from those Epstein files. All right? Man, oh man, oh man.
You said it right.
Oh,
There he is, this pedophile file. Take this smack.
Yeah, the Epstein, the pedophile files, they desperately trying to keep that thing, on ice. And here it is, we're in the 10th day of the government shutdown, man. But in the meantime, in between time, a great many federal workers across the board are getting hit. And not only federal workers, regular workers too. Other aspects of this monetary monolith is being hit left, right, and center. And hey, pretty soon, some of us we're already feeling the pinch. We're gonna feel it too. But man, oh man, oh man, but in the meantime, between time, your president, Donald J. Trump, no, wait. Your president, Bill Gates, and Vice President Elon Musk, with Donald Trump as the figurehead now, because he ain't nothing but a hostage at this point. He ain't even the president no more. He just a hostage. Those attempts on his life, he done blinked. He rolled over. But anyway, they about to give $20 billion, have given $20 billion to the government of Argentina. Now, hold up. Here it was when the Democrats was in the House. Sure, Joe Biden and company, they did wrong. They did us filthy, giving tons and tons of money here, there, everywhere. And the Republican was talking mad dookie poo, including the DJT, along with Elon Musk and so many others. But now here we go, talk about the hypocrisy. Okay, but look, you know what, look. Whether right wing, left wing, Kentucky Fried Chicken wing, the whole bird is foul. Neither side gives a rat's behind about we, the American people, in the whole nines. Okay, what you got? You laughing?
Not the left wing. Not the left wing, the right wing.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I know I have a way of saying things, and but I'm just saying, left wing, right wing, Kentucky Fried Chicken wing, the whole bird is foul. If you know what I'm saying, and it's okay. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. I'm just saying, the moves they're making and using our money, people. See, understand, these are our tax dollars. And understand this here. We're not taxpayers, okay? In all honesty, we're not taxpayers. And then, well, what do you mean by that, Malachi? What do you mean by that? Listen, this is what I mean. A long time ago, I came to the realization that when somebody else that you don't know, from FICA, HICA, or whatever, when you read all those entries on your check, when you have all these different entities taking your money before you get it, you're not paying taxes. You're being extorted. Okay? It's legalized extortion. Just call it what it is. And then just because you get a little kickback at the end of the year, a tax refund, they're only giving you a fraction of what they took from you. But still, no, that's called extortion. No matter how you try to slice it, because see, when you try to take defensive maneuvers to keep FICA, Micah, and whoever else from taking your money that you earn, mind you, they have an organization showing you how gangster they are. They got an organization, and she rolls hard in the paint to get Big Daddy Uncle Sam his money. You know what? I'm robbing suckers. IRS. She comes in hard. Straight gangster. When you try to defend yourself from them taking your money. Because Uncle Sam is if you haven't figured it out, Uncle Sam is the grand ultimate professional international manipulation practitioner. Pimp. I mean, look at what he wears. He walks around with all types of different suits on. The red, the white, the blue. Okay? He has the stars because he always blinging. Okay? And he has that point. I want you to get out here and get me my money. All right? And we've all been, now this is a little colorful, but whether you want to face it or not, we've all been government hoes. We get out here and work every track you can think of. The railroad track, the bus track, the the highway track, to get Uncle Sam his money that they take and do whatever they want with it. Come on in. Look, just face it. We being pimped. Okay, it's just that simple. Now, if you don't know who Jimmy Spicer is, this song. I dedicate this show to his memory, but this song is appropriate. Like I said, Wu-Tang Clan. This is where Method Man got the dollar bill, y'all, and all that from. This song here just breaks down. This came out in 1983, and times was bad. It's triple that now. Let It Run, fair use, y'all. And the beat, before there was Mano, there was Jimmy Spicer. So let this classic run. We're gonna play a little bit of it, and then we're gonna come back. We're talking about, hey, yo, Trump, I thought you said it was America first. Give me my money. Show me the money. Run it, Karima.
leaves your home on the range. Money was the bigger in the stock exchange. You make money on your 9 to 5 to earn your living so you survive. It takes money to pay your rent and to eat. Without money, you're hungry on the street. It takes money, cash money, to the bill. So you steal some money, you go to jail, and then you turn around, need some of a bail. But then you need a dime to call your lawyer to plead innocent, say they never saw you. But before you, a lawyer, I'll get you free. He asks how will you pay his fee? Oh, but you have no money, you're in a jam. Your lawyer says to throw the man in the slam. It takes money, cash money, to the bill. It takes money, that's right, cash money, to the bill, to the B-I-double-L bill. Hill.
That's enough of that. Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar bill, y'all. Yeah. Word. And we are all, how you say, just making it. It takes money. That's right, cash money to the bill. But on a serious note, though, here it is, Medicaid being cut. You got white farmers in particular feeling the pinch. Everybody, all you MAGA, all y'all who voted for Donald Trump, and hey, he had y'all thinking that he was going to hook y'all up. Oh, I know y'all feeling dumb right about now. But, hey, check it out. This is what happens when you're selfish. This is what happens when you trust the devil. You make a deal with the devil. The devil never keeps his deal. He never keeps his word, ever. And all the federal workers out there, the majority of them being black, oh man. Welcome to reality. Welcome to, we told you. We told you. And I'm going to say this to you all. You know what? We don't give a sermon here, but as you can see, biblical prophecy is just coming to pass left, right, and center, nonstop. Now we're going to have a whole litany of different videos from news feeds and news outlets. We're going to go into details about this $20 billion. Could we talk about a slap in the face? I'm up here living on fumes. Barely making it, just going through the hardships like anybody else out here. I'm in the trenches like anyone else. But a dangerous climate is being brewed in this country right now. And though Seventh Answer and myself, we are strong proponents of freedom of speech, but responsible speech, as citizens of this nation, or captive citizens of this nation, it's still our responsibility to let you all know out there that we are most definitely now about to enter a hardcore civil war in this country. See, unlike us black folks who know how to get it in the trenches, who have been able to survive, barely, but still we survive, there are other factions of this nation who are not just going to roll over and have their money taken from them and they left broke. See, one thing about our white counterparts, see, they don't sing, they don't dance, they don't do fish fries or whatever else, or freedom rides. You go messing with their money, they gonna kill you. Straight up. And Trump and company, Elon Musk, JD Vance, man, this administration is bringing this country to its knees. But see, this is what happened when you vote billionaire and trillionaire, psychopaths and sociopaths to govern you. This is what happens when you allow pedophiles and all kind of other freaks, kooks, and crazies to govern you. When you let the patients run the asylum or run the institution, this is what you get. Let's just get right down to the nitty-gritty of it all. You see what voting for a businessman gets you? It's business. And just like Michael Douglas's character in the 1987 cult classic Wall Street told Charlie Sheen's character Bud, when he wrecked a business that he, was supposed to save. It's wreckable. And money is to be made out of chaos. And America is wreckable. And we the people, we're expendable assets. And now everything is just coming to the fore. And the only way you're not going to see it is because you want to be blind. But the bottom line is this here, man. Look, this whole giving $20 billion to Argentina is a super quadruple colossal slap to the face. And the Republicans, from here on out, man, y'all can't ever talk about the Democrats again. Ever. Not ever. Because, hey, America first. No, yeah. I guess what Mr. Trump forgot to include was rich Americans first. That's what they actually meant. Because see, all these with the economy tanking, and this government shutdown, here it is here. Here's what's wild. Your president just passed a decree, call it what it is, a decree where he feels that any furloughed workers, any workers who are out there working for free right now, because some of you are out there working for free, they're not getting a check. They're not getting a check. And some of them who have gotten a check getting half their money. But he feels that you're not entitled to back pay when this government shutdown ends. And that's if you have a job. But wait a minute, hold on. So the government, Congress, Senate, judicial body, legislative body, executive branch have a host of Americans working free, but they're getting paid. That part, they're getting paid. And but they have a host of Americans out there working free. Then, for some of you out there, depending on your age, we're going to talk about that too. A lot of them who are now losing their jobs, been at a particular sphere of profession for 20, 30 or more years, career. Some of them are now in the void where they can't retire. Okay, now check that out. They're out of a job. Some of them are out of a job, but they can't, with the years that they have, they can't, because of their age, retire. But now here it is. There are a lot of people having difficulty finding a job. But we were told, biblically speaking, that as this society would come to its end, that we would see labor and everything else drop. Matter of fact, seventh answer, wasn't it you who told me that things were it was so bad that Trump fired the labor secretary so she couldn't tell us how bad it is? I think it was you who told me about the Department of Labor secretary. How you the labor secretary and you get fired? Because he don't want you, the government doesn't want you telling the country how bad it is in regards to employment. But for those of us who are, 40 years plus, or 50 years plus, getting a job now, starting all over again, it's going to be very difficult, extremely difficult, because America, as we know, is an ageist society. In reality, once you turn 30 in America, you're considered old. Why? Because as you age, from a wisdom standpoint and life experience standpoint, you start coming more and more into your awareness of your worth. And see, where they want to throw you frank and bean wages, and we're living in a porterhouse steak economy, all right, you now become, as far as the American employment system is concerned, once you turn 30, you become a problem. That's right, a problem. Because now as you again increase in age, theoretically, you become more aware of how much you're worth as an employee. And you know, for many employers out here, they want a lot for a little, which a great many of us are not going to go for it. They know that they can't throw you $16.50 an hour. They can't throw you some barely minimum wage in your 50s and your 40s and 50s and up. They know that. You're not going to be satisfied with that, albeit a great many employers have been taking advantage of how bad the economy is and how bad some people work. And there are some people who have actually compromised and have reduced themselves to working for barely nothing, just for the sake of saying they have an income coming in. But that's not cutting it now. Not what we get. Everything is going up except your wages, and that was put into play by the Republicans way back in the 1980s, when you had one old 666 himself, Ronald Wilson Reagan, and Reaganomics, or as we called it in that day and time, Rapeonomics, is still in effect. So a lot of people out here it is, work experience through the roof. They may even have BS degrees, BA degrees, all types of academic accomplishments, and they may not be hired because, again, knowing their worth, and this society always wanting everything for nothing, many employers are not going to hire them. And here these layoffs are coming at a real bad time too. It's getting cold in my neck of the woods. Some of y'all may be blessed to be living in geographic areas where, cold to you is when it's 60 degrees. All right. But when you start getting 40, 50, and 40 and 30 degrees, man, hey, yo, this is not the time you want to lose a job. But yet, here it is with this government shutdown. Military personnel and other people are not getting paid, but they're still required to work. I'd be damned if I'm going to work for nothing. Couldn't be me. What? Oh, you want me to go to work, but I'm not going to get paid? And then here it is, when a government shut down that Trump and company, all right, the pedophile company started. Oh, you guys going to get your back paid. You're going to get all kind of paid. But you're telling me I'm not going to get my money. Back pay? Oh, forget that. Nah, I don't think you're entitled to it. What? We're gonna start seeing some things out here in these streets in the not so distant future. And again, here it is to have a government shutdown, jobs being slashed, dashed, and bashed to pieces. But yet, this government is preparing to give a $20 billion bailout, or has given a $20 billion payout to the government of Argentina. Man, Look, I'm at a loss for words, and that normally don't happen. So we're gonna queue up these videos. We're gonna give you news feeds. We're gonna break it down analytically. As we listen to some of the lectures on what Donald Trump and company, because that's treason. As far as I'm concerned, maybe I might be wrong, but help me with this, you all out there in Lions Den land. Imagine, let's say, this was Lions Den Incorporated. The conversation continues subsidiary. And here I am, along with the seventh answer, in charge of everything. But let's say, overall, the money-making decisions fall on me. And you all out there, you all work for us and contribute. And here it is, because if I don't like you, I feel some kind of way about you, I'm going to say, no, I don't want her to have no money. I don't want him to have no money. But then you watch me go and take the money I should be giving to you. I'm going to give it to somebody from way across the river. Somebody I had associations with in times past. $20 billion. I don't have to finish the statement or question I was going to ask. How would that make you feel? And what would you want to do to me? And see, this is the dangerous climate that we're entering. Look, in times past, we've seen The Simpsons, them and their predictions on when somebody gonna kick the bucket. Well, there were episodes showing Donald Trump in a car from Mr. Trump. I'm going to say, Mr. President, look, you may be setting that climate. Like I said, we're not calling for sedition. We're not calling for any kind of harm to be done to anyone. But we also live in reality, and we're going to tell you, when you go messing with people's money and their well-being, well, you are lining yourself up for some serious possible consequences and repercussions. On a fist, foot, or lead sleeping pill level. I am not, we can't play with this. Also, Mr. President, Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump as figurehead, along with J.D. Vance. Look, you're also putting we, the people, the everyday people, and I'm not going to say average American, because none of us, there's nothing average about my existence. I'm far from average like anyone else. But you're putting we, everyday Americans, for the lack of a better, there is a better term, but I'm going to just being facetious and sarcastic. You're putting us everyday Americans, because America first, you're putting us in danger. Because where we may have our mental faculties intact, we know that there are a lot of unhinged MK Ultra candidates, ticking time bombs out here or just people who have been trying to make it. They're on edge. They're losing everything or have lost everything, courtesy of you. And here we could be getting caught in the crossfire of erratic and random mass shooting and someone blowing a gasket and just taking it out on any and everybody because of you. I don't want to have to live like that where I'm walking around with a swivel head. When I go into a post office or some other place, federal building, trying to get answers, and someone done lost their job and they done lost their cool, and they're coming in blasting. And we who are innocent get caught in the crossfire you started. So as we embark upon this, and we're all saying, show us the money, give us our money. I want some money too. There's plenty of money to go around. Because look, you best believe these Republicans, while they in office these next 4 years, they gonna line themselves up.
I could show you where the money going.
All right, well, seventh answer, come on in. Show, please.
So this is on the farmers. Why does farmers some of the
So here we go, y'all. Fair use, fair use. This is for analytical purposes and everything else. Let's go to work.
Let's start with the history of the situation. The first reason. So in 1913, South Africa was ran by Elon Musk and Donald Trump are lying about why they're bringing the white South Africans to America. There's two reasons why, and I believe I figured it out. Let's start with the history of the situation. The first reason. So in 1913, South Africa was ran by white supremacists called the Union of South Africa, which consisted of the British Empire. Black Africans were excluded from political participation and representation. This was the same year Louis Botha and Jan Smuts came with the Natives Land Act of 1913, which restricted land ownership to Black Africans and reserved education, healthcare, finances, landowners stripped of their land. Now let's jump to 2025, and you have this Administration Land Act of 1925, and you have this administration bringing in white South Africa. They claim that it's because of genocide on white South Africans, but I know for a fact that's a lie. In 2018, South Africa elected a president, and then which allows the government to take away land from its owner without compensation for public purposes or public.
Hey, Seventh Dance, you may have to bring it back in because it's going in and out.
So he's reversing the entire.
Okay, y'all stop interfering with our feed. If we were showing porn or some other kind of crap, you wouldn't interfere. Leave us alone. We're gonna replay that video. But y'all hear that? Do you hear why they're bringing in all these white South Africans? See, for all you white Americans out there, just like the Democrats was bringing in all them foreigners, but then again, this started back with the Republicans as well. Y'all ain't slick. All these foreigners and all these, illegal immigrants coming up here. For all you white Americans, those white South Africans, those Boers and whatever, they're your replacement. Yeah, that's right. See, it is not by accident that the majority of the farmland in this country is owned by Bill Gates. Think about that for a second. Through Bill Gates and his wheeling and dealing, he has acquired almost the majority of the land in this country. Now, how in God's name did he manage to do that? See, all this eminent domain, stealing land, and man, just wow. And so now all these white farmers from South Africa are being brought in to replace you American white farmers. See, while Trump is getting rid of all the Latin illegal immigrants, his white compadre illegal immigrants, because see, don't get it twisted now. There are times where both the Republican and Democrats are bipartisan. They work together in certain areas. And just like Joe Biden and company bought in, but before that, when Trump was when he was president, the 45th president, he kind of signed some things on the DL that went under the radar. And yeah, you're getting rid of all the the Spanish-speaking illegal immigrants, but all those white illegal immigrants who are getting EBT, they still getting that EBT money. They still getting the welfare money. They getting all kinds of thousands upon thousands of dollars in food stamps and cash assistance monthly in the thousands, being papered up delightfully and deliciously to take the place of American. That's right. See, this is a dirty game this country plays. But again, a civil war is about to erupt in this country. But for all you white Americans out there, this is exactly what you get. You don't get any sympathy from we here at the Lions Den. See, you voted down when propositions for us to receive reparations in the form of cash payments. Oh no, you were against that. When it came to Medicaid, because black folks, affordable health care, they call it, because black folks were going to also benefit and get their fair share of that. Oh no, you voted against it. Thus voting against your own interest. When anything that would have benefited black folks solely, you voted against it. You voted it down. But behind that, what you didn't see were all the bills and proposals that had you voted for us to receive what we supposed to receive, you would get what you were going to get too. But you and your greed and your bigoted racism, yeah, that's right. You allowed yourself to be used. As the Seventh Answer showed on our last episode, Lyndon Baines Johnson. President Lyndon Baines Johnson did say, all you to get poor whites to be cooperative, you give them someone to look down on. We showed that to you last. That's also part of MK Ultra and mind control. You give the poorest white man or woman someone to look down on, make them think that they're superior to the most richest of Negroes, and they'll let you pick their pockets. Matter of fact, they will be glad to give you their money. And Lyndon Baines Johnson was right, because we did watch a host of MAGA, a lot of people out there donate to Donald Trump's political war chest. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Y'all broke. Why are y'all giving money to a billionaire? And I remember way back, 25, 30 years ago, it was an interview that Donald Trump was giving with, I think it was Barbara Walters. But he was saying, yeah, you know how he talks. Yeah, you know, if I was to ever run for president, I would win fantastically. You know, the American people, they just want something different, something different. And me, I'm a businessman, and they would want me, and even if I were to rip them off and do things that were unsavory, they'd still love me. And I guess he was right. I guess Donald Trump was right. Because here it is. He made all these promises and did all, and went so far to say, I want you to get out here and buy my sneakers. He went Nike and made the Donald Trump sneakers, and people bought them. Then he went Jim Jones. He went Oral Roberts, the Donald Trump Bible, and people bought it. And then he just asked for outright donations. He's worth, at last count, I think $50 billion, I think he is. Somewhere in that category. He asked for donations, and here it is. All you poor maggots, or maggots, more like it, you gave it to him. I'm like, unfreaking believable. Here it is, a billionaire ask the poor constituency to donate to his campaign to be president, to rip them off, and you did it. You all obeyed and did it. And now look at you now. You're being replaced. That's right, white. For all you PWTs out there, that's right. I'm gonna help you. Pull white trash. Look what the government think of you. Huh? All you white farmers out there. Black farmers wasn't getting their fair share of that money, but you didn't care. As long as it was for you. And now, look at you now. You're home in foreclosure, you're losing everything, and you're about to be replaced with white South Africans. Okay? Elon Musk people. Just want to drive that home. And now y'all all up in arms. Now you want black folk to come. Let's join together and let's no. Nah. We're not gonna protest. We're not gonna say nothing. Fight your own battles. For years, we've been telling you that some of your white brethren, your white rich brethren, your white crooked ass brethren were out of line, out of pocket, and getting down dirty with the way they were coming at us. And you didn't care because it wasn't you. You joined in with the chorus of there's no free lunch. You niggers are always complaining. You niggers are the crybaby race and all that. Yeah, that's right. I remember. And a great many of us now in this generation, unlike our parents, the baby boomer, and the great generation, our grandparents, we not them. Oh, we not them. Oh, you're not going to slap us in the face. You're not going to disrespect us. And we going to sing some kumbaya and we shall overcome. No, we not doing that. Nah. We walking away from you. We turn our backs on you. You gave us your behind to kiss. Now we return the favor. Those are your white brethren. You deal with them. You deal with them. And keep your apology. We don't want to hear that either. Because an apology without no money behind it, reparations behind it, ain't nothing but hot air. So keep your apologies. Some of you, that's just what it is. We're drawing the line in the sand. Our God, the one true God, Yahweh, is making it abundantly clear. He on you now. He coming. He's sending. They coming. Christ, they're coming. They already here. We're going to be talking about that as well in our next broadcast with all these UAPs or UFOs and all these different sightings that are all over the place now. Yeah, that's right. So you got to face your divine judgment all by your lonesome. Now, if you have some silly Negroes out there that want to join you and want to try to save you, Stephen from Django or Handkerchief Heads, let them go ahead. But we're not that group. We're not of that ilk. You are on your own. All right, Seventh Answer, run the video. Let's go to work.
I looked at the comments. Somebody said, yeah, they hear the vote because I'm trying to get another term. They hear the be in numbers, but I'm gonna play this video and then play another one. But I want to go back to that video that I was trying to play in the first place because the guy was kind of making sense.
I want you know what, Seventh Answer, that needs to be replayed because that need to be heard. Go ahead.
Second and much smaller group of white Afrikaner South Africans arrived quietly in the United States on Friday without any fanfare and no private jet for them either. They left the country on a commercial flight from Johannesburg. Like the first batch who relocated to the US in early May, they claim to be persecuted in their home country. The group is part of some 8,000 Afrikaners who will reportedly be resettled in the United States over the next few months. Controversially, they've been granted fast-track refugee status by President Donald Trump. In February, he signed an executive order halting all aid to South Africa, accusing the government of doing terrible things to Afrikaners. He's falsely claimed they're victims of a genocide. Trump's view appears to stem from a recent law that allows land expropriation without compensation, but only in extremely rare cases. There's been an outcry in South Africa, the US and elsewhere to his decision, which comes as Trump halts all other refugee admissions. The second and much smaller.
So white South African refugees arrived to the United States this week. Their refugee status is also kind of weird, but we'll talk about that another time. Today, let's talk about their treatment, their portrayal. They are even greeted by a representative from the United States. Here they are all beat up from their hard journey here, but listen to what he says, because it's very telling.
Welcome to the United States of America. It's such an honor for us to receive you here today. This is the land of the free, and we know that all of you have faced. I'm Chris Landau. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm the Deputy Secretary of State of the United States. This is my friend Troy Edgar.
Yeah, I'm the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security. Again, welcome.
Wow.
So great to have you guys here.
I know you've gone through a long flight. I'm so happy to see you with our flag in your hands, and that flag symbolizes liberty for so many of us. Many of us, our families have had a journey not that different from the journey that you are embarking on today.
Stop for a second.
My own father was.
Stop for a second. So see what Seventh Anson are showing you. Now you see where all that money going. That's where all that money going. That's where that's why all these job cuts and layoffs and cuts in the Medicaid and the Medicare, because they got to finance and take care of these bums. They got to take care of your replacements, white America.
He said, the free.
Yeah, no. America. Oh man, you heard that BS, man. The land of the free. No, the America.
They all actors. Believe the real ones is behind the scenes that they ain't bringing up. They giving EBT cards and the rest of.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, hold up. Here, what hold up. Let's not forget, and Joe Biden set aside $600 million, particularly for Ukraine and South Afrikaners to come here. That was the budget at the time. It's probably double that now that Trump and company are in play. But all these job cuts and all these job layoffs, that's all that money is being rerouted, like you said, Karima, to give to these bums.
It remind me of Dr. Khalid Muhammad when he said they gave them 24 hours to get up out of there before they're gonna drop a bomb on them in Hiroshima, right? The African president said, y'all got 24 hours to get the hell up out of here. And the farmer.
Yeah, but hold up though. They were being persecuted in their land. It wasn't your land. It wasn't your land.
No, that's a lie. They was not getting persecuted in their land. And most of them grave sites are Africans, Black Africans. But they're trying to make it seem like it was a genocide on white people because they seen a picture that was staged of a grave site with a lot of crosses, which was just farmers, African farmers, period. It didn't have nothing to do with no genocide. It had nothing to do with that. But they used that and tried to make it seem like the Africans was getting, it was genocide with the white Africans. That was a lie. No, they told them that Burkina Faso told them that he want them to give the Africans back their land. You have to get up out of here and give their land up, y'all, on stolen land. So instead, they lied and used the old video of them protesting about the farmers, but it wasn't just white farmers, it was Black farmers. Actually, it was more Black farmers than white farmers, but they used the whole little scene and try to make it seem like it was just a genocide of white farmers. So he came to the office to discuss with Donald Trump. Donald Trump played that. I'm gonna show you the video probably later. But he played the video and he was like, look at this, y'all genocide and all this. And he said, they laughed about it because it was kind of funny that, he put some advertisement video that has something to do with protesting on a whole different level and try to make it seem like the farmers are getting genocide. So he promised to bring all the white farmers over, Africana white farmers over here, in which that's what they did.
Well, Seventh Answer, I was actually getting ready to lead into being I was being sarcastic, but since you filled it in, but I'm going to still go on my sarcastic rant. First of all, how you they're going to talk about they were being persecuted. Wait, hold up. Because the Black The actual black South Africans whose land you're on won't let you kick their behinds, and they won't let you get away with what you've been getting away with it when you had P.W. Botha back in the day running things, because you can't control it like you want to. That's persecution. Yo, they sick as all hell. So because that's like me going up to Mike Tyson in his prime, slapping him, and then he kicks my eyes out through my behind, and Mike Tyson's persecuting me because he won't let me hit him. They got it, yo. These people are sickening. They are absolutely sickening. The entitlement, the arrogance. They were persecuted. All that apartheid and all that garbage that was going on at one time. But now when black folks in their land are rising up and fighting back and taking what's theirs, they're persecuted. And now they're in the land of the free. No, America's always been the land of the freaks and the home of the depraved. Let's just get right down to it. This place was built on thievery, bloodshed, lies, subterfuge, and all kinds of wickedness. The land of the free. Oh, please, what are you free to do in this country? What are you free to do? You try telling that to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and others who were assassinated here on American soil, expressing their freedom of speech and their thoughts and ideals. The land of the free? You try telling it to all the murdered Black Panther, BLA, Black Liberation Army, and other groups out here, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and so many other groups of yesterday fighting for truth and justice. This is the land of the free. You tell it to all those people who were brutalized on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, or just 60 years ago were being brutalized with water hoses and police nightsticks and having dogs sicked on them, expressing their freedom of speech and their right to be and to live. The land of the free. Give me a... Run the video, Karima. Run the video, please.
Born in Europe and had to leave his country when Hitler came in the 1930s, and made his way to South America first and then eventually to the United States. So he is an immigrant who actually, was able to benefit from the many blessings of this country. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to go and work for the government is because I wanted to give back to this country that really brought freedom to my family and allowed us to escape a very difficult situation in another country. So, I want you all to know that you are really welcome here and that we respect what you have had to deal with these last few years. We respect the long tradition of your people and what you have accomplished over the years. And I am sure that you will be successful. As you know, a lot of you, I think, are farmers, right? When you have quality seeds, you can put them in foreign soil and they will blossom, they will bloom. And we are excited to welcome you here to our country where we think you will bloom, and we will hopefully allow you to have fulfilling lives for your children, and then we will bloom and we will benefit alongside you. So thank you very much.
He called them quality seeds. I guess the rest of us that don't match that complexion are not. Almost like they're sympathetic to one group, but the others they just call illegal aliens and tell them to go back to their country. It's almost laughable how welcoming they are and how different the treatment is. But I want this to be a conversation. Familia, what do you think about what you heard?
Yeah, you see, this is where all that money going. For all you out there watching the show and you lost your job, you got laid off while this government shut down. This is why you're losing your job. This is what your money is being rerouted to take care of all these bums. Okay? All these useless eaters who haven't contributed a dime to this nation. Meanwhile, we done had our money stolen in every which way and form you can think of, but we can't get a dollar. We can't ask for a quarter. And yet these people are already being given.
A reporter
sorry.
asked Trump, what will it take for you to...
Yeah, let me finish. They're being given $2,000 and $3,000 in EBT and $5,000 in monthly cash assistance, y'all. And we get nothing. We got to fight for a crumb. The land of the free. And no, Tyrone, I knew you were going to be in here sooner or later, starting, but it's okay. We love your opposing voice, so we can feed off that as well. No, the only reason I'm able to speak freely the way I'm speaking now is because the Lord has made it so. The seventh answer myself, the reason that we are so bold and we do what we do, because we've had our Malcolm X, Fannie Hamer, Assata Shakur's, all the fathers and mothers of yesterday, and then ancient Judith, Susanna, David, Solomon, Christ, above them all, who paid a price for us to be able to speak like this. Donald J. Trump don't make nothing possible for me, Tyrone. But welcome. Let's move on, y'all. Let's move on.
Be convinced there is no white genocide in South Africa. And Trump just goes, no, I've got a video. Check out this video. This is perplexing.
What will it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Yeah.
Well, I can answer that for President. It's, for him, no, seriously. I'd rather have him answer. Yeah, I'd rather answer.
Our president will respond to you. Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories.
Good luck with that. Fat chance.
To their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking.
Here comes the ambush.
About it. Sure. And we have documentaries, we have news stories. And is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down. Turn the
We've got a presentation.
Lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
So they turn the lights down low, and they play a video with all sorts of wild allegations being made. And then finally, Donald Trump sort of putting the cherry on top of these white genocide allegations, saying this will be the end of the country of South Africa if it's not resolved.
It's got to be resolved. It should be resolved. It's a little bit bad when you see a stadium with 100,000 people in it, because that means it's more than just a little movement. It's a pretty big movement in South Africa. So it has to be resolved. It'll be the end of the country if it's not resolved.
It'll be the end of the country if it's not resolved. A reporter
We do not have a genocide in South Africa.
This South African farmer wants to set the record straight. He wrote an open letter to US President Donald Trump after Trump offered Afrikaner farmers refugee status.
But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white.
The first group of 59 Afrikaners traveled to the US in early May. It has raised questions about why a group of white South Africans of Dutch and French descent are being granted refugee status when the Trump administration has stopped all other refugee programs. De Jager represents a large farmer organization which has members across South Africa. He says while it's true that farm murders are a major problem, Trump hasn't got the facts straight.
I wrote the letter to Trump because I feared that he might have a misunderstanding of what is going on here. We thanked him for having sympathy with our cause, but we also said, rather help us to make things better here. Help us to, within our lifetime, fix the problems we have here. And it's not only a race thing. Black farmers have similar problems too, and we need those problems also to be attended to.
Trump's genocide claims are a result of brutal attacks on farmers in South Africa. Most of the murders happened during armed robberies. There's a large memorial at Nampo, South Africa's largest farming expo, dedicated to farm murders. It contains around 2,800 names, going as far back as the 1970s. One thing that stands out about this event is the diversity. We've seen many Afrikaners, but we've also seen many black people in attendance. This memorial includes the names of black farmers who were victims of farm murders, debunking the idea that it's a crime that only affects white people. And those we spoke to say while they are concerned about farm murders, they don't want to leave South Africa.
If people want to do it, I think it's a good idea. It gives them an option out if they want. But I personally would not do it. This is my country. And that is something that Mandela fought for, is for freedom for all.
I cannot really say there's a genocide in South Africa. The only thing that is happening is it's a crime in general. You know, in every country, in every places, we do have crimes, irrespective of race, you know. So I think the genocide issue, it's exaggeration.
We do not have a genocide in South Africa.
They killed Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana because he wanted to unite Africa.
The United States of Africa.
They killed Patrice Lumumba of Congo because he wanted Congo's resources to benefit his people. They killed Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso because he told France to leave Africa alone. They killed Muammar Gaddafi of Libya because he wanted to build a United States of Africa with one currency. They killed Samora Machel of Mozambique because he resisted Portuguese and apartheid forces. They killed Amilcar Cabral of Guinea-Bissau because he exposed neocolonialism and refused foreign control. They killed Steve Biko of South Africa because he taught Africans to love their skin and fight apartheid. They killed Chris Hani of South Africa because he was uniting black workers to demand freedom. They killed Dedan Kimathi of Kenya because he led the Mau Mau rebellion against British colonizers. Now, let's protect Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso before they silence another African voice. Africa must rise. Follow for more truth they don't.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
You know,
After I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate the black people.
Video footage of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Return the gold you took from the vaults of Burkina Faso. Return 90% of the uranium profits you still collect from Nigeria. Return the billions of our reserves that sit in your banks. Return the stolen artifacts you proudly display in your museums and offices. You say this is complicated, but what is truly complicated is justifying how a former colonizer continues to profit from nations it once oppressed, even decades after independence. You say it's legal. Then I say your laws were written in the language of thieves. You say it's not that simple. But it was simple when you took everything. This is not just about money. It is about restoring balance spiritually, politically, and morally. It's about ending the lie that crimes can be buried under the label of history. We are not asking for revenge. We are announcing rebirth. Africa is not rising to destroy. Africa is rising to rebuild. But no house can stand on cursed ground. Where ghosts of oppression still roam, nation can move forward while its soul is chained in foreign vaults. So, Mr. President, choose your path. You can meet this moment with honesty and courage, return what you stole, acknowledge the truth, and walk beside us as equals. Or you can resist, delay, and cling to fading illusions of empire. But hear me clearly, no matter what you choose, Africa will rise with or without you. And when we rise, it will be in our own image, not yours. Not with your permission, but with the blessing of our ancestors. You once called us the dark continent, but now the darkness is lifting. And it is your lies that are being exposed to the sun. To all Africans across the continent and the diaspora, stand up, unite. The time has come to reclaim what is ours, our dignity, our future, our freedom. Join the movement to build a new Africa, sovereign, proud, and unstoppable. Return the gold you...
And there are no 49 Afrikaners who left South Africa. You all know that. It's a fiction, it's drama. You know, America with drama is #1. That thing is Muvhango. I don't know what is Muvhango in Afrikaans. It's just a drama. I believe they landed and then they waited for cameras, took them pictures, the next flight back to South Africa. If those people are farmers, it means there are 49 farms available. Why are we not expropriating them? Because they've abandoned them. But why is the media not telling us? Because they say these are farmers. Why is the media, through its own investigation, say to us, this picture you see is a farmer at this. They are not farmers. There's no one who left farming here in South Africa. I suspect that those whites were these ones who were looking after cars at the parking lot. They were attending to cars and they went to fetch them there. They can't live. They will never live the kind of life they live here in South Africa, anywhere else. Even if you live here as a millionaire and you go to USA, your money gets reduced to nothing. So no American or Afrikaner will leave South Africa for America. It's not true. Our country, there's no killing of white people. We're not killing white people. We're demanding our land. We're saying, let's share this land. Let's all work the land. And if that is a crime, it's a crime we're prepared to commit. Because we can't, when we're asking for food, and say, no, you are committing crime by asking. We're having a robust debate on land in South Africa. And that must never be used to silence us. And there are no 49 Afrikaners who left South Africa. You all know that. It's a fiction, it's drama.
Send in private planes to pick up 8,000 Caucasian South African refugees when we're kicking people out that are in the middle of their immigration proceedings here in the U.S.
People, something is not adding up.
You heard the U.S. is bringing in white South African refugees? They're calling it racial discrimination. But the real story is about black South Africans finally getting their land back. And the people who built wealth off of their suffering are calling justice a threat. Now let's talk about it. South Africa isn't just a country with a painful past. It's a country where violence was law. From 1948 to 1994, apartheid was a full-blown system of state-sponsored terrorism against black people. Under apartheid, black South Africans were stripped of their citizenship. They were forced into segregated, impoverished homelands. They were required to carry passbooks just to move around their own land. They were beaten, jailed, and murdered for daring to exist outside their assigned boxes in their country. Now let me paint the picture more clearly. In Sharpeville, police opened fire on peaceful protests burning passbooks. 69 people were killed, most shot in the back. In Soweto, kids marched against being forced to learn in Afrikaans. Police responded by killing hundreds of school children. And all the while, white South Africans built generational wealth on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen futures. By the time apartheid ended in 1994, white South Africans, just 10% of the population, still controlled over 70% of the land. Meanwhile, the black majority was left with poverty, trauma, and barren land. Now, black South Africans are saying enough is enough. They're demanding land expropriation without compensation, reclaiming the land stolen during colonialism and apartheid without paying the thieves back. But suddenly, white farmers are crying racial discrimination. And the Trump administration, they picked up the narrative and spun it to paint them as victims, calling them refugees, opening the doors to the U.S. not for the oppressed, but for the ones who benefited from oppression. Now, let me be clear. There's no law in South Africa targeting white people for being white. There's no persecution, just accountability. What we're witnessing is the legacy of colonialism being confronted. And for some people, justice feels like a threat. But this isn't reverse racism. This is restoration. This is reckoning. And baby, when you built your life on stolen land, truth will always feel uncomfortable. But we're not here to protect comfort. We're here to tell the truth, because you can't heal what you won't face. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share this with someone.
Remember, Simi, no one here can know I am royalty. You must appear to be no different than the average man.
I will not say a word.
British Airways Flight 929 to London is now boarding at 8:50.
Elon Musk and Donald Trump are lying about why they're bringing the white South Africans to America. There's two reasons why, and I believe I figured it out. Let's start with the history of the situation. The first reason, so in 1913, South Africa was ran by white supremacists called the Union of South Africa, which consisted of the British Empire. Black Africans were excluded from political participation and representation. This was the same year Louis Botha and Jan Smuts came with the Natives Land Act of 1913, which restricted land ownership to black Africans and reserved it for the white settlers. The exact same thing they was doing to black people in America, except they stripped us of our whole identity. Black Africans were also segregated the same way. Education, healthcare, finances, landowners stripped of their land. Now let's jump to 2025 and you have this administration bringing in white South Africans. They claim that it's because of genocide on white South Africans, but I know for a fact that's a lie. In 2018, South Africa elected a president and then re-elected him in 2024 named Cyril Ramaphosa. He's implemented an equality for all approach. He said the persecution of white South Africans is a lie. They were not victims of any violent attacks. There's no genocide going on. The truth is, he passed a law called the Expropriation Act, which allows the government to take away land from its owner without compensation for public purposes or public interest. This is why Elon Musk and Donald Trump are screaming genocide, because he's taking back the stolen land and giving it back to the rightful owners, or using it for things like infrastructure and access to resources. There's only 7% of white South Africans, but yet they own 70% of the land. So he's reversing the entire Natives Land Act of 1913. That's what this is all about. Now with Elon, he's a white South African born under the Natives Land Act. That's why he's so involved. David Sachs is a white South African. Peter Thiel is a white South African. All are billionaires and the biggest supporters of Trump's administration. This is one reason why the lie was started to get them over here. Now the second reason, the white population in America is declining. They're having more deaths than births. It's a fact. You can look it up. They're becoming a minority in this country. Whether you want to hear it or not, these are facts. So in order to boost that population, they had to do this. First, stop abortions, which is the reason for the reversal of Roe versus Wade. White women's abortion rate is around 33 to 34%, which is second behind black women. They don't really care about stopping abortions for black women as long as they can bring that percentage down for white women. Then you open the borders. And who were they bringing in at first? The Ukrainian people, remember? All white. They let 1.1 million of them over here. So then you reclassify them as white, increase the white population, but make it seem like it's the Hispanic and Caribbean immigrants that's the problem. Put the spotlight on them and have a few of them deported so everybody forgets about the Ukrainian immigrants that came over. We were all focused on everybody else. Next, they attacked DEI. Why? Because over 70% of the beneficiary of DEI was white women. Same with affirmative action. More white women are leaving the home and going to work, which means less babies being born. That's what that was for. DEI didn't have shit to do with black people. The goal is to get more white women back into the home and start having more babies. So what did Trump do next? offer $5,000 for newborn babies, right? Y'all pay attention. And now they create a scenario to give to the American people as a reason they're bringing in more white South Africans. This ain't about no genocide. This is about control and the fear of losing it. If I'm the Hispanic community and you done deported some of my family and friends, I'm gonna be pissed. Because now it's okay for them to come over here. Black people, we need to wake up. And it's time to unite. All that being each other ops and beefing and shit, it's time out for that. If we don't come together now before it's too late, we will be replaced. And if I'm the white community, ask yourself this. If they bringing them over here, who do you think they gonna take the place of? The shit they were giving y'all, the what, people call white privilege. Who do you think that's about to go to now? All of us as Americans should have a serious problem with this because what they're really doing is genocide to Americans. That's why they came with the Carmelo Anthony case and the Shiloh Hendricks situation. All of those were distractions to keep us divided and going at each other, not paying attention to what's really happening to each other. We have to unite as Americans and really pay attention before it's too late. Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
I did my research and I found out how racist this new administration truly is. This is some of the most racist shit I've ever heard of. In 1913, South Africa had white supremacists running the country, and they created apartheid, which created segregation and discrimination laws against black South Africans. It was whites only South African businesses, whites only South African movie theaters, whites only South African swimming pools. South Africa was on that racist shit just like America treated black folks. So in 1913, white South Africans took over South Africa with force. White South Africans stole land owned by black South Africans. Fast forward to 2025. 3 of Trump's biggest supporters are 3 of the most richest men on the planet. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and David Sachs are 3 billionaires that fully support Trump. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and David Sachs are all white South Africans who were born in South Africa, white supremacy, and apartheid. Elon Musk is a white South African white supremacist. South Africa now has a black president. This South African president wants equality in South Africa. He wants the racism to stop, and he wants everyone to be treated equally. Trump and Elon Musk heard about this black South African president wanting equality. Trump immediately stopped all funding to South Africa. There are only 7% of white people in South Africa. But those white people own 70% of the land in South Africa because they stole most of that land from black South Africans. The new black South African president put a new law in place to right the wrongs that were done to black South Africans that had land stolen from them. Just like when European settlers stole America from the natives. Because the South African president wants to give back land that white South Africans stole from black South Africans, that's why Trump and his administration are saying white South Africans are being persecuted and done wrong. But white South Africans are not under persecution.
I mean, the facts are there is no systematic prosecution of white Afrikaner farmers. For the Trump administration to take the view that there's somehow systematic persecution, it's actually problematic and troublesome and damning on the way the Trump administration is receiving its information.
How are they being prosecuted when they the ones who stole the land from black South Africans? Black South Africans are the ones who originally owned that land. What's so wrong with doing right and giving black South Africans their land back? But see, this is the thing. South Africa is not even seizing land like Donald Trump is saying they are. It's a lawful process that's handled in the courts of South Africa. If someone stole land from you and your family, wouldn't you want it back?
So South African farmers are fleeing to America.
Hold on, Kurt. See, we bombing you, we flooding you. See, now you see, we're not pulling everything that we say here, we're not pulling it out of our behinds. See, out the mouth of 2 or more witnesses, the good Lord said. We gave you our take, we gave you our findings and facts and figures and configurations. And as you can see, there are other black media pundits on the job as well. And now you're seeing we are all on the same page, and we see quite clearly. We woke. And then some of you might want to come in here and troll. Fine, but yo, you see how right we are? There are other voices out here, and now out the mouth of two or more witnesses. The only way you're not gonna want to see this because you want to be blind. Run the tape, Karima.
Because they allege that they are dealing with violence. And I'm confused because Donald Trump just gave him a fast track to become a U.S. citizen. He called what's happening over there genocide. Genocide? So we gotta be all the way real here. Why them? Why do they get the fast track over here to become citizens? There's people all over the world that's dealing with worse conditions than this. Refugees from wars, famines, real genocide, but they're not getting this special treatment like them. No, sir. So what makes this different for Donald Trump? This clearly looked like favoritism, the ultimate protection for the complexion. Trump, the same person that was trying to ban certain people from coming over here from over there. Y'all remember? Now all of a sudden we got this open door. He feels so bad about them. When, like I said, there's a whole lot of people going through it, not just them. Somebody make this make sense. Y'all telling me I'm tripping? Y'all think I'm tripping? So
Dozens of white South Africans touched down at Dulles Airport outside Washington yesterday, granted refugee status under a controversial
You see that now? Now you see how there'll be some of you saying, oh, we're conspiracy theorists. No, we're not theorists. We're bringing you reality. And now there are other voices now. What you gonna say now? Huh? What you gonna say now? When we come here on this medium, week in and week out, the good Lord has us go deep. We go heavy in the paint, unapologetically. And we uncover. Because we can no longer afford to sit around here pussyfooting around and playing games and thinking everything is a game when it isn't. You're about to see civil war erupt, and all you, my white listeners, our white listeners out there. Yeah, that's right. You're now being replaced. They know, these rich white folks know y'all gonna break bad on them. They know y'all not gonna sit idly by, unlike us black folks, and y'all not gonna sing. They know y'all coming, and they getting ready. But don't look for us to join hand in hand with you. No, you caused this. All you MAGA, all you Charlie Kirkers out there believing all those lies. And now look at you. You were always the target anyway. Right along with us, of course, but you too. And now, everything we told you was going to happen to you, you're now seeing it. Live and in your face. And you deserve it. No, we're not going to be here merciful. No mercy for you. No. You voted down everything that could have benefited us, which could have benefited you as well. You harden your hearts. And these fools are going to lead us now into the final judgment of your empire and you as a ruling class once and for all. This is a beautiful day and a beautiful time we're living in, albeit though scary. But wars, rumors of wars, everything is happening right on schedule. They're so greedy and so determined. They rather die before making restitution and doing the right thing. They rather die And here they are making all these ridiculous and futile efforts that are not going to work. You think these white South Africans, they only come here for that money. They don't really want to be here. You better believe once they get what they want and they can get a funneling back over there to the European land, if not South Africa itself, they're going to be gone. They're gonna get ghost. They just want that free money right about now. They know how white rich Americans give it up, but they playing the game too. See, like the book of Obadiah said, the men of your confederacy, they're going to betray you. You're going to be betrayed on all levels. But now, we the children of Israel, Negroes, we have to get ready. Because understand, all this is still aimed at us. See, all that $600 million that Joe Biden put into effect for the Ukraine, and now all the money that Elon Musk and company are putting in effect for the white South Afrikaners to come over here, all these Boers. Yeah. That's what this government shutdown is also about, and taking all the jobs from hard-working Americans, black and otherwise, but especially us black folk too. The cutting of social spending to reroute all that money, all that tax money, to people who didn't put a dime into this system. You have Americans out here starving, in need, and being told their little monthly stipend income is too much to get Medicaid or whatever else that helps get them free health care. But these people come over here under asylum as victims and getting everything handed to them. Welfare at its finest. But yet there'll be those who say that we are wrong for daring to come here and have this medium to expose and break down to a science, and then seek out other voices that are in agreement with us to give their spin and their findings to come to one cohesive conclusion. That it's high time for we, our people, once and for all, to wake out of sleep and stop playing. The Lord is now forcing our hand on every level. Because when this civil war erupts, right behind it is coming a race war. It's been one, but it's really going to erupt in the not so distant future.
Well, I definitely want to take the time to show you the real genocide that he's not talking about. And that goes around the same time that, he was trying to spread his rhetoric about white people getting genocide. But I want to show you a few videos, including, how they debunking him all the way. Hold on.
That's right. See, I like make sure you make people understand that everything this man is saying, the Tim Johnson, all the rest of the rhetoric. And what is rhetoric? When you use language influentially and persuasively, although what you're saying is a lie. See, we're showing you they're lying. And this is why you gotta, when you always hear us say, get up off your duff and start checking things out for yourself. This is why. This is why you need the Lion's Den. You need for the Seventh Answer and myself and JT Raw, anyone else, to be on the case, to be on their heads. We cannot continue to let these people lie and get away with what they're doing. It's about justice now. And we're not asking for it, it's taking it now. Win, lose, or draw. Go ahead, Seventh Answer. The ball's in your court. You see that? You see the real war? You see who the real...
You see the military equipment out there shooting them people?
Yes, we do see it, Seventh Answer. Yes, we do see it.
Not in South Africa.
I mean, Scott,
You're saying it's not true that some white farmers have been murdered?
no, it's not true that there's a genocide against white
Okay,
farmers.
whatever you call it, have white
Yeah.
farmers been murdered?
Actually, how many
Have
white
violence been
Hold on,
committed
wait.
against
How
white
many
farmers?
white farmers? Hold on a second. How many white farmers have been murdered in
I don't
South
know,
Africa?
several. I mean, they asked.
No, how many? How many?
I don't know, several.
I know why you don't know. Because those numbers don't exist broken down by race.
I mean,
How
I
many
know this.
black-
I wouldn't
how
trust the
many
South
black
African government to tell
farmers-
me. I know that.
How many black farmers have been murdered in South Africa?
Look, you guys are so triggered over 59 people.
No, I'm not.
After we
it's-
left 20 million people in
haven't
the
even
country.
brought
I don't know
up-
why you're so
haven't even
triggered
brought
over
up the people, the white people that Trump picked out because they were white and told them they could come to the country.
How much racial
There
killing are you
are
going to condone?
There are 19,000 murders in South Africa. 36 were on farms. 7 of the
According
farmers
to
were
who?
victims.
According
Okay,
to
this
who?
is according to the South African
And
police.
you think the South African government is a
The
credible
other
source?
29,
Would they
hold on a
admit it?
second. The 29 victims who were included in the farm killings were farm employees who tend to be black. So the vast majority of people killed on farms in South Africa are black. Where is the concern about them?
The concern is that there are white farmers who have had violence committed against
why
them,
is
and
there
they're being
concern?
threatened. They're being threatened
Why-
every single
why-
day.
but Scott-
There's 59
but Scott,
people,
hold on a
and you're
second.
triggered about 59
No.
people,
I
and I
haven't
don't know
mentioned-
why.
I haven't mentioned anything about 59
to
people.
substantiate
not-
Why,
white
why are
farmers
you
being
only
targeted.
concerned about white people?
I'm only concerned about this story because these 59 people asked for status. They're getting status, and now everybody's freaking out
They
about
didn't
it.
ask for anything.
There
Actually,
is no
We are alive. Yeah.
Okay, you see,
killed it
this
in
that
me.
was Abby Phillips. If you don't know that was Abby Phillips breaking Scott Jennings' racist, bigoted ass down. See, look, man, we're not playing. She broke him down. You see how he was stuttering and muttering? Whenever they stutter and mutter, that means you got him. He want to perpetuate that lie, and she shut his ass down. That's a good thing. Go ahead, Seventh Answer.
Looking at a video now, this is so crazy to see.
This is the bottom of the supply chain of your iPhone, of your Tesla, of your Samsung. I mean, I'm just naming those companies.
Right.
It's all of them, right? All of them. And here's what you need to know, Joe, about this video.
I'm here in Yalawata, which is the place of the recent massacre that happened about 4 weeks ago, where a group of Fulani came in from all sides. It was a coordinated attack. They came in from the east, the west, the south, and the north, and they targeted this community of Christians here. That night, the report in the U.S. says that it's about 200 that were killed here in Yalawata that night. They are saying here, when I talked to the chief and when I talked to the other elders of this village, they said that it was 250. And they said this because there are so many that are unaccounted for. You can see behind me the burned out home that was set on fire, and so many houses were set on fire. They said that many people were burned to just ashes, and so those people are not accounted for. So the number of people that were killed here the evening of the attack is anywhere from 200 to 250 Christians that were slaughtered in one evening. Yes, please. So you were here the night of the attack?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us what happened?
My name is Michael Aja. I was around when the attack took place. There was no any security personnel here in this place again. So they began to break doors and set fire. Break doors and set fire on houses. This was the first house they set fire.
This is your brother's house?
Yes. This is my elder brother's shops. Those shops are 8. This was the first house they set fire on. After this one, they came to this one. And my uncle was here with his wife, with his son's wife and his children, all of them. I lost people in this house, 11.
11 people
yeah, 11,
died
that's
in
my
this
family,
house?
Those that are my family members here.
Wow.
11 persons were lost in this place. They were sleeping in this very bar.
They were sleeping in here?
Yeah, they were sleeping here. This is where the mother slept. 8 people were killed there. That is my family.
8 were killed that way.
8 were killed in that place.
And that's your family also?
That is my family.
How many of your family did you lose?
20 members. I lost 20 members of
members.
my family in this very attack.
Wow. And this is your elder brother's house?
Yes, this is my elder brother's house.
Was he killed? Your
No,
elder brother?
my elder brother, he doesn't stay here.
Okay. Okay.
He was not killed. Only my stepmom, with my elder brother's wife, with my sister, they were inside with their children.
And there were also people sleeping in
Those shops,
these shops.
we rented them out to people.
Mhm.
People, they were sleeping inside. And this person that ran this one, his wife was killed with 3 children.
Right there.
Yes, here.
In there.
In this place. And that side also, some of them, they were trying to come outside, then they were shooting them.
Mhm.
Everywhere here, they
Mhm.
were human beings. They kill people here like this.
So they would set fire.
Then they set
The
fire.
people would run out, and then they would shoot them
Yes.
from this side.
Yes.
Okay.
And they also up there, they burn my elder, the same that my elder brother has this one. They burn his house up there. They also burn my house and my stepmom. And the very person that has this one also is my brother. He has 3 stores in this market. They burn those stores and they burn his house up.
When we don't go inside this, see that building?
Yes.
Burning. That's why we are.
We just got done talking to the chief of this village, and he told us his account of what happened that night. And we were walking with some of the elders, and they were showing us some of the burned out homes and storehouses. And that's the other impact, is all of the food storehouses in Yalawata were completely burned out, and all of the food along with that. So now all of the food storages are empty, and they have no food. So it just adds to the level of crisis that's happening here. But it was definitely done by one of the security men that I was talking to said that it was done by at least 500 Fulani, all armed with machine guns, AK-47s, came into this area and attacked that night. They cannot know the number for sure, but they say at least 500. And they just went from house to house and from neighborhood to neighborhood within this village and community, and just killed everyone that they saw, and lit houses on fire and burned them to the ground.
Then the attack launched to this place, which started at 10 p.m. in the night, and the attack lasted 2 hours. It was the intersection of those policemen that we have here. We have the Sefa Highway, and we have the station police, which one of them is here with you. It is them that, from their interception, some people, if you have could be able, you came here and you are able to see some few persons here, and people they were being bound to those houses that you are seeing here. More than 200, we are 258. 258. Some they burned and became ashes, and some other families they have burned completely, and there's no anybody to give an account on their nets. It is only those that we manage to a certain point, because as people move from different villages, as the destruction is, they move from different places, and they came and taking their refuge to this place, and they killed some of them. And as we managed to follow the family, and then we are able to get about 258 persons.
Wow.
That's the way we killed.
How many Fulani came that night into this place? Do you know?
That is where I can't, to tell you what they were up to. For, and in approximation, they were up to 500.
And they were all armed.
They were all armed.
I see. Thank you, sir. Unfortunately, this is becoming all too common in this area. This is usually a very secure area. The main road is right behind me that has many checkpoints along it. The only reason that they were stopped that evening is because of the security officers here in this area began to fight back. Everyone in this community believes that if it were not for the security officers fighting back, that this would have spread to other communities and gone further, and more people would have been killed. This could have easily happened to have 1,000 people killed if it were not for the security forces in this area. And you could just see the destruction behind me.
And see, this is the genocide that President Trump, Elon Musk, and all the rest are glossing over. See, this is the true happenings going on still in certain areas of Africa. But they want you to believe that it's black folk attacking white folks. Man, all right. Welcome to the Lion's Den as the conversation continues, talking about what's on your mind.
Let me play this.
All right.
This is the video that Donald Trump went off for genocide, saying it's genocide. I was gonna play the video, but it's like a little bit too long. You know what I mean? As far as it was a documentary. It was a documentary in 2003 where they was trying to say that the white farmers was getting being genocide, and they showed a gravesite with like a whole bunch of crosses, and they said the white people was over there. What they failed to realize, it was not just white people, it was actually black people in the gravesite. Is, you know, that's where they buried them at. You feel me? But they did a documentary, and it was on a couple who got killed, a white couple, and it was a black couple that got killed, and they was farmers. You feel what I'm saying? So that it was like a protest of, you know what I mean, trying to stop, you know, the farmers from getting killed, doing an investigation pretty much. I'm gonna play that little clip. But the whole thing is he went off of that. He used that documentary and try to lie about it. So I want to play this video right quick so you can see the difference.
It has no sound.
South Africa.
These are all white farmers that are being buried.
They were actually pictures from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Remember these images Trump claimed were evidence of white genocide in South Africa?
These are all white farmers that are being buried.
They were actually pictures from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let me explain. During an Oval Office meeting on May 21st, Trump caught South African President Cyril Ramaphosa off guard when he alleged that white farmers were being persecuted because of their race. Trump then presented alleged video evidence followed by a series of articles and images that he falsely claimed showed white farmers that are being buried in South Africa.
Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
Following the meeting, Reuters revealed that one of the images Trump displayed was a screenshot from one of their videos that showed footage of humanitarian workers burying bodies in the city of Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The footage was captured in February following deadly battles with Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, Reuters reports. The managing editor at The American Thinker, the conservative online magazine that published the blog post Trump showed to Ramaphosa, told Reuters that Trump had misidentified the image. Reuters video journalist Jafar Al-Katanti, who captured the images in question, was shocked to see Trump using their footage as false evidence of white genocide. In view of all the world, President Trump used my image, used what I filmed in the Democratic Republic of Congo to try to convince President Ramaphosa that in his country, white people are being killed by black people, the journalist said. During the meeting, Trump also showed video of white crosses along a South African highway that he incorrectly claimed were burial sites. When the crosses were placed in 2020, an organizer told South Africa's public broadcaster that the wooden crosses did not mark actual graves, but rather represented farmers who had been killed over the years. When the lights came back on in the Oval Office, Ramaphosa asked Trump if he knew where the footage was filmed, to which Trump responded, no.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. I mean, it's in South Africa, that's right. We need to find out.
During a White House press briefing on May 22nd, Press Secretary...
You see how smoothly he just lied? Boy, liar. Liar. Go ahead, Seventh Dance.
Caroline Leavitt blindly defended Trump's claim that his video showed burial sites when asked about the footage by NBC News reporter Yamiche Alcindor.
Are you disputing that there's no...
The fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed, because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the White House...
It did show that. It showed white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
Leavitt refused to answer Alcindor's question about who verifies the images that the president presents as evidence in the Oval Office. Another organizer of the 2020 event has since confirmed to BBC that it's not a burial site, but it was a memorial. Remember these images Trump claimed were evidence of white genocide?
The Americans are saying that they are being embarrassed by their president. And he thinks that ruling America is a reality show.
Those allegations were uncalled for. They are bullying the South Africans.
There's no mass expropriation of land taking place in South Africa. There's no genocide taking place.
Does he have all the statistics of the white farmers who have been killed?
We have crime issues, but as a government, we have committed resources to deal with it.
There are no evidence to this thing. You don't just hear from one person and conclude.
The humiliation that he received from Donald Trump wasn't necessary.
This is not a genocide. What happened here? The farm murders, although a very high percentage per thousand, is not a genocide, and we have never claimed it to be.
We're not interested in going anywhere, and we would like to see more inclusive growth in our business, but we need some certainty, and one of those certainties is rural safety.
The Americans are saying that they...
He got all the poor ones, because the ones that was stolen land and rich, they ain't going nowhere for some credit. No. Anyways, let me finish.
Yet another horrific massacre against Christians in Nigeria to report on. 27 people, including a 3-year-old girl, have been killed in the most barbaric of ways. Masara Kim, a reporter for Truth Nigeria, joins us now. Masara, what can you tell us about this absolutely barbaric atrocity?
Yeah, so in the early hours of yesterday, that's July the 14th, a group of terrorists shouting Allahu Akbar on a long convoy of motorcycles, estimated by locals to be between 30 to 40, swarmed the peaceful town of Bindi, located about 35 miles southwest of Jos, the capital of Plateau State, killing at least at the moment 27 people that have been identified, majority of whom were burned alive in their homes, including a 3-month-old baby and a 3-year-old baby. In my report for Truth Nigeria, I mentioned the 3-year-old victim without realizing that as I left, the body of a 3-month-old baby was also identified, and the search has continued with many more members of the community, many more residents still unaccounted for at the moment.
Burned alive. What do you mean? They were trapped in their house? I mean, what exactly? Oh, I don't even. Oh. As a father, this is disgusting. But what can you tell us about that detail? Burned alive. What do you mean?
Yeah, so these terrorists swamped communities, broke into homes, and literally poured gas. They poured fuel on the sleeping residents and set the houses on fire. I mean, a local pastor who spoke to us, I shared his photo with you, said he was hiding in a goat room just within his compound of 2 brick buildings when they broke into his flats where 9 members of his family were sleeping, and he could literally hear them screaming and shouting for help, but absolutely no one could come to their help because the terrorists, more than 30 of them, had swarmed the compound. Some of them had gone into the rooms where these innocent residents were sleeping, and they had literally poured fuel on them and set the house on fire. So he could literally hear them screaming on top of their voices and shouting for help, but definitely no one came to their help until they could no longer scream, they could no longer breathe. And in fact, when I got to that compound earlier at sunrise yesterday, the bodies of these victims were still smoking. You know, the houses were still burning and their bodies were still smoking. And many of the videos that I've shared with you might not be good for the screen, but I mean, it's important to understand the horrifying nature of these attacks, which, by the way, follow a pattern of violence by these terrorists who have killed more than 1,000 people in the last 10 months. Just in Plateau State alone. Genocide deniers, again, would like to say that no, this is just another instance of sedentary farmers clashing with semi-nomadic herders who happen to be members of the Fulani ethnicity. But no, this attack happened and started from 3 a.m. and lasted up to 5 a.m. Nobody was in their farm. Nobody was clashing with anybody. Nobody was, in fact, these innocent babies and women and children that were hacked down and burned alive on their beds. They were nowhere at a place where, that qualifies as a battleground or battlefield that, one can say, oh yes, this was a clash. And even if there is anything like a clash going on, what clash happens at that time of the night? And in fact, it was these terrorists who came to the residence of these Christians, and then they hacked down and burnt several people, including innocent babies, who, by the way, don't even have any understanding of any situation whatsoever. Neither do they have any strength and even the charisma, the strength to carry any weapon and go into battle. So, of course, this is just pure genocide targeting chiefly and exclusively Christians, whether you are a genuine Christian or not, as long as you identify as a Christian, you are slaughtered. And this pastor that I mentioned, by the way, said he heard them celebrate, shouting Allahu Akbar, saying to themselves in the Hausa dialect, we have conquered the infidels. We have conquered the infidels as they broke down the door of the church, which faces the compound, and smashed musical instruments, smashed Bibles, smashed the pulpit, smashed chairs and everything else that they could find, while celebrating their victory. Against who? Against the Christians. They went through and passed several Fulani and Muslim communities and did nothing to them. But when they got to this Christian community, they massacred people and retreated unchallenged into the surrounding mountains. And as I speak with you, residents still tell us that they could still see signs of these terrorists lurking around, possibly planning another attack.
Massara, I so admire your passion for this subject, and I hope we're doing a good job of telling this story. You know, unfortunately, we've told this story so many times. You know, this keeps happening. And that's the really frustrating part is, you know, this isn't a war where a bomb gets dropped and, you know, there's civilian casualties. This is systematic extermination. And I mean, using machetes to hack people to death, set people on fire using gasoline. This is ethnic cleansing. This is genocide at the most. This is the definition of that. And I know I'm getting frustrated. You're frustrated. I'm sure people watching this are frustrated. There's just crickets in the world. I mean, maybe someone will say something every once in a while, but you know, it's for the most part, this story gets ignored. Again, I pray that we don't have to do another story like this, but I'm sure we will. But Massara, in closing, again, you've done this a time and time again. I can feel your frustration. I share it, my brother.
Absolutely.
What do you want the West to do? What do you want the United States to do?
The same energy that has been applied on the Iran-Israel war, the same energy that is being applied on the Ukraine-Russian war should be applied on the Islamic jihadist terrorist attacks on Christians in Nigeria. The plan is to annihilate the Christian populations and take over Africa's most populous country, starting with the largest Christian states of Plateau and Benue, and of course expanding to other parts of the Middle Belt and the entire country, with the aim of capturing the entire African continent as the beginning, or at least the part of the first step toward conquering the entire world. So the West, President Trump needs to step up to this. 5 years ago, he made a bold statement by asking the former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, why are you killing Christians in Nigeria? And that helped a lot to reduce some of the atrocities and the violations even by the Nigerian authorities, and of course, as he went further to impose a CPC level. But after President Trump, Joe Biden came and lifted that sanction, and the atrocities have continued to mount and escalate. President Trump needs to do something as a lover of humanity, as a lover of religious freedom, as a lover of human rights, as a lover of Christians, to make sure that these attacks are stopped. And beyond that, Christians all over the world need to pray and rise up in solidarity with Christians in Nigeria and support in any way that they can. You can as well support through any non-profit of your choice. At the moment, I don't know any better profit than Equipping the Persecuted, which is doing, which has boots on the ground and is helping, thousands of Christians. But again, you can choose any platform to reach out through. You can pray.
Yet another horrific.
You can run it, Seventh. Go ahead, Seventh. Run it.
Donald Trump is right about South Africa, but not in the way he wants you to think.
Horrible death.
These are the graves of white farmers killed across the country. A cross for every murder, thousands since the end of apartheid.
Most of the farm murders against the white people is racial, like a slow war, a slow genocide that's keeping on.
That is why Donald Trump claims there is a white genocide here, which the government denies. But Donald Trump is offering white farmers asylum within America, the chance to go and live over there. But not everyone is taking up that opportunity, including the man who looks after this monument. Donald Trump's talked about asylum. Have you ever thought about that?
I thought about it.
Yeah.
But I think there's still a good future for us in South Africa.
The government refutes the claim of a white genocide, and the statistics show there isn't one. White people are less at risk of violent crime here in South Africa, and farm murders represent about 0.2% of all homicides.
It's not correct. I want to say it. I want to put it categorically clear that we're not killing white people.
In the nutshell, I would say Trump is racist, because he was supposed to have come down, came to South Africa to find out himself, to say what is happening here. He's listening to a very, very, very small group.
Crime is a huge issue for all communities of South Africa.
These are articles over the last few days.
Hello. This is Mr. William Monroe. This morning, I am here to discuss and to speak about the problem and their strategy that the PNM, what they have done to African people in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying to you, over the years, the PNM have been in government over 40 years, 40-something years. And they always pretend that they're looking after the African people and fooling them, completely fooling them. Because let us do some statistics. And I will start on asking you. We are number one in terms of the population. Now listen to this. If you're not checking the mix, then the Indians are in front in the population. But when you check an orange juice, if you take a cup of orange juice and you put water in it, it is still orange juice. So all the mix is African. So then we become the majority in the population. We are in the majority. When it comes to economically or financially viable, we are in the bottom of the barrel. It's no maybe about it. Over 40 years, the PNM fooled the Africa. It's no maybe about it. And I'm going to show you. If you can show me 10 lucrative African businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago, visible then, we can see that more or less they can just sign a check probably for $1 million or more. If you can show me 10, well then, something wrong with me then, because I haven't seen 10, and I was checking around, and I didn't even see 5. You cannot check how many Chinese businesses have in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, all the Syrians involved in business, and the Indians, well, then they control all the business. They hard with the jobs, so they this and this. But they work hard for that. Because I always say, Trinidad and Tobago was built by the African and the Indians. So I have no problem with that. But the Syrian, well, you know, they dig out the eyes of your grandfather and family and come with the cloth and the different things and fool and who they fool and then they're still fooling. The PNM give all the contract to the Syrian and the Indians and none to Africa. And there's no maybe about it. If you look about, you cannot see no viable businessman in terms of an African man doing and get no multi-million-dollar contract until they always tell you that we don't have the tools and the equipment to do that. But I know if they had given us the contract, we would have received loans and benefit from the bank, so we will be able to do the contract easy and lucratively. Laventille never failed the PNM yet. And it would not have taken the PNM $2 billion to change the look on the face of Laventille. It would not, and the way they spend money in feasibility and all the different things, billions of dollars. So $2 billion was nothing to spend to change the whole look of that Laventille area. And I'm saying, over 40-something years up to now, some of the people in Laventille still using latrine and those kind of outdoor toilets. That is totally unfair. Totally unfair. And I'm saying, the PNM ignore and fool the African people too long, so we have to get serious and understand the way we're going forward. It's no baby about it, how we are going forward in the future. We have to stand firm, and whosoever is there today, because for that matter, the government was saying that the PNM government was saying they give African people what African people want. We give them education. And the way in which they speak about the education, like if the monies that you have to spend for the education come from the pocket of the grandmother, leave that wealth, the oil and the gas and the pitch and everything. That belongs to we. They're only supposed to govern it for us. So they are not giving us no education. And that is out of the question completely. When it comes to favor, did any way an African man come and ask them for a favor or to go forward positively? They put stumbling block in this way. I just want to use one for that matter. The Mecca, that is where movie tongue is. Everyone, most of the people, and I can't say everyone, but most of the people, each of the people, will know that that property there was belonging to me, leased by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. The cadastral sheet was signed by the late Hassan Ali. And what happened? When they see the development that was taking place there, and they see the value then, because it was mangrove, the whole place was mangrove, everyone knows that, and they see the value of what I was doing, the first thing they did, when I started developing and backfilling, they filed an injunction against me. But in those days, it was very difficult to get work, and I had a lot of people employed. So those people joined with me, and we went down Woodford Square, and we start, and we fight, and fight, and fight, and eventually we put pressure that they had to take it to Parliament, and eventually they were able to sign it again, and that is how Hassan Ali was able to sign the cadastral sheet. And then after I was able to continue my development. And when they started to see what was happening down there, the beauty that was coming out of what my organization was doing, I brought down a tent while the late Alvin Dorset was building my stadium for me, because I was developing there for entertainment. And for that matter, at that time, they had no noise control, but I know it was coming to Trinidad and Tobago sooner or later. So I was hoping to build the grandstand then, or the stand, so the sound system, the volume would have gone to the ocean then. So we would not have the problem that we're having now, or what is taking place now. And I brought down a tent also from Florida, cost me to Landis and everything. It was the biggest tent Trinidad and Tobago I've ever had seen. It was holding thousands and thousands. And when it was erected up there still, while we developing and preparing, somebody called me at home on Saturday morning and said, Mr. Monroe, you're here and you don't know what is happening down on the foreshore. I said, what is happening? He said, they're destroying the development and everything down there. I said, what craziness you saying? And I rushed down there. Well, when I rushed down there, well, they nearly executed me too, because it was guns, army and trucks and everything, and they just take the property away from me, just so, take it away. And hear what they were telling me at the time, and I was frightened too when I see all these guns and everything. I probably, African don't stand up for Africans, so I frightened. And they mentioned, if I do anything, I wouldn't live to see the court matter and anything come true. So I got frightened. And they say, what we will do, we will give you no alternative. We will give you, after spending millions of dollars, we will give you $500,000. That is on record. They give $500,000. And they put me in the back. I think everybody who remember the spectrum, they'll remember the spectrum in the back. And I say, all right, it's land again. I took it and I start developing it again. And as soon as I started developing, every week we get in a letter stating, don't erect anything there. Just keep the land there. I said, what kind of craziness is that? They are not giving us any approval to do anything. So I built up a little shed. And even that, they say, you have to take down that. I was there like a mannequin. We were there doing absolutely nothing. First Soca Monarch took place there and everything. And then any ugliness that started happening in the Diego Martin or Petty Valley or anywhere around the area, any ugliness, they say it happened at the spectrum. And they give it just a bad name that nobody wanted to go there again. So it was just there on my hands. But I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know what to do with it. Up come the gentleman that owned Movie Town. He came to me and said, Brother Mono, I see you're not doing anything here and you can't get no road approval, you can't get no approval to build or anything to do anything. So what you gonna do? Why don't you sell me here that we can play golf, mini golf? You know when you're practicing for golf? So he said, we will practice for golf and everything like that. And I will give you some money for the lease and hand it over to me. Well, believe you me, that was music to my ears because I was doing nothing with it and nothing. And I sell it to him cheap, cheap, cheap. Because at the time, between the front and the back, I've already spent over $10 to $12 million on the land and the things like that. And I eventually paid me $2 million for the lease then. And I passed it on to him, not knowing it was a trick with them and the board member. As soon as he got the lease transferred to him, they took him and they placed him the place where they removed me from in the front with all my lands and everything, and they give it to him. That is where now Movie Town and Price Match and the other hotel on the side, that is what become of there. And all what they said that there was not, I couldn't get. They get new roads, they was able to build whatsoever they want to build and everything because it was not given. That was too much then for, as a black man. That is how they just, any way they could get a chance to destroy a black man, that is what they do. And I'm saying, again, problem that I went through under the PNM. When Manning promised that he's going to develop East Port of Spain, that is in the George Street area and the different things like that. And when I heard so, I said, well, that is fantastic, that is a very good thing, because I was about to build my infrastructure there. I went to Rowley. At the time, Rowley was the Minister of Housing, and he was at the AGC building right in George Street there. So I went to him with all my approval with the plans and everything to show him what I want to do at the development there. And he ran me. When I say run me, he said, well, no, where are you going with that? But move away with me with this plan and this thing. I have no time for that, but get away with that. Well, I didn't give up, so I went to the Prime Minister at the time, that is the late Patrick Manning. And when he say, when he look at it, he said, Brother Monroe, if you build this building, we will be able to rent it from you. So when I heard that, that was music to my ears. They give me a recommendation, so I could have taken that recommendation to the bank. And on the strength of that recommendation, the bank was able to give me my loan with what I have, and I was able to build the building. Everyone know Jew Place in Port of Spain, the prettiest building, 7-story, that is in existing in Port of Spain. Well kept, and the prettiest, I must say the prettiest, and everyone knows it. Beautiful and, I mean, properly maintained. When it was completed, now most of the Syrian building.
A little lengthy, but yo, what the gentleman is basically saying is Donald Trump and this administration are lying. There is no white genocide, and you saw white South Afrikaners over that tank. That's not true. They're denying it. But see, this is what happens when you again put psychopaths and sociopaths, thieves and liars in positions and administrations of leadership. They're going to run it into the ground. You're now tuned into the Lion's Den. We're your host, the 7th Dancer, Lady Karima, along with Brother Malachi, Baby Hebrew. Now, let me see who's talking real quick. As we're now 2 hours and a half in, my goodness, we have so much we want to cover. But I know that this is a work week from our night hours, though. This is also, we're going to put it down for you. If you're at work and listening to us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see who's talking. All right, we got Jay Snake the Great in the building. Salaya Ben Yaz always, making sure things are orderly. Smashing Idol. That's right. The title is on point. All praise to the Most High for opening our eyes. Always give us the insight, hindsight, and every other kind of sight to come up with these powerful titles. You quoted the scripture, 2 Kings, the 18th chapter, verse 21, smash an idol, which is on point. Okay? Relying on Egypt, relying on America is unreliable. Completely unreliable. Now, let me see. Here we go. Tyrone McNeese. Let me see what you said. Watch the news, you say. And you say also, it's judgment time. America is free enough for you to speak in the manner you are speaking, in which isn't wise. No, it's always wise to speak the truth, Brother Tyrone. Then you said, Celaya Ben Yah, Mississippi wants all the smoke. Yeah, he always wants smoke. And Mississippi then says, Celaya Ben Yah, I'm a consuming fire. And from YouTube to Clubhouse, I'm blackballed. Vocab Malone and Garfield, the only ones brave enough to allow my voice to speak freely. The rest act off the image command of a man. Okay, if that's what you want to think, we've given you free reign of speaking here as well, Tyrone. But listen, brother, you need to really get it together. But we patient with you. We don't ban you from here. Vocab Malone is dumb. Okay, Vocab Malone is of no significance. I've heard Vocab Malone before. Vocab Malone is biased as all hell. Please. He's no one special. And let me see. You say you have things on lock, and I better put the foolishness down. Well, everything that we bring here is facts. So you can't point out anything that we're talking about that's foolish when everything we bring is substantiated by sources. If you choose not to believe the sources, Tyrone, hey, like the old adage goes, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. Now, let me see. You have Asiatics 777 saying, Tyrone, when worst come upon you, then don't cry. I agree. I agree with you on that one. And then you say, when Mexicans sue the American government, people will cry like babies, but it's coming. Asiatic 777. Okay, we'll see if they have a case. Okay, smashing Tyrone full of crap. It's okay, Smash. He just you know what? We need voices like Tyrone. This is what keeps us motivated to get out here and do what we do for all y'all out there who appreciate and love the fact that we dare to kick over all the stones, kick over liars like Vocab Malone. There's nothing wise about Vocab Malone, Tyrone. But moving on, as you can see though, right now we bringing heat to you all. We're showing you the lies. And for all our white listeners out there, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and this government as a whole, this rich government, white government, is showing you how they feel about you. They're replacing you. How does it feel? We told you. We told you. We told you. But nah, we don't know what we talk about. Now, in your mortal, like legendary rapper Kool Moe Dee, how you like me now? How you like us now? Huh? Now, we're going to continue on.
They replacing you with your cousins. Your cousin moving you out. And one thing they ain't about to do is do your job. They about to...
Well, no. Give us free. Okay? We going hard in the paint. All right? Now, what I want to do, you know what, Seventh Answer? We're giving them enough, don't you think? I think we're giving them enough, in all honesty. You know, this is a work week and everything else. And so how about you know what? We can continue this on a two-parter, but tomorrow night, y'all, Lord willing, tomorrow night we're going to go back into a presentation that we did 9 months ago regarding the UFO. Because see, the angels, Tyrone and everybody out there, the angelic force, Christ and all them, are mounting defensively all across the earth. And there was they had another meeting and sit down because they're scared out their minds on that too. Although they're going to try to fight Christ and his return, these fools still are going to try and go ahead on and, you know, harden their hearts and learn the hard way. So how about this? We're giving you an action-packed show tonight. Okay, we're giving you, I'm a little distracted. Sorry about that. But we're going to come back with part 2 of A.O. Trump. I thought you said it was going to be Americans first. Show me the money, or give me my money. Cut us our check. And so, Seventh Answer, do you have any parting shots?
I was going to show the thumbnail, but you...
Well, okay, show the thumbnail. Give them a preview. I better get back on my meds, Brother Tyrone. I take my medication regularly. It's always a dosage of the Holy Spirit from the Lord in Christ. I still walk in this sinful flesh and be struggling, but I take my meds every day. Thank you for your concern. Oh, let me know when you're ready to run that preview, lady Seventh Answer.
No, it's just a thumbnail. Just keep talking. I'm gonna show it in a minute so they can.
Okay, yeah. So look, we hope that you've enjoyed this 2.5 hours that we've given you and everything else. This is going to be a two-parter. And again, like I said, we are in some perilous times. As 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter said, we would be in the Bible. But through these perilous times and through these rough birthing pains, our time, our ascension back to being the Lord's chosen people to rule and govern this earth forever and forever is now in full sway. And we here on the Lion's Den say to this government that as the children of Israel, the one true God, Yahweh, and his son Yahushua, our Lord and Savior, and the true conquering line of Judah, they now demand and command that you let us go, that we may serve him. And if you don't let us go, you want to harden your hearts, Mr. Trump, Mr. Vance, and so many others out there, and other governments that are listening to this broadcast. If you want to harden your hearts and don't want to release us, if you want to continue to think you can persecute us and think you can hold this earth under your wicked subjection, then brace yourself, because the spiritual foot and spiritual butt whooping is coming your way. And it's only going to increase until you are absolutely subdued. Make no mistakes about it. And we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to lie to you. The Lord, he's not coming here to sing songs and hold hands and rapture. He's coming here to catch wreck. Holy wreck. When Christ is given the green light to return, and the sky do crack open, it's going to be a lot of song singing and flower bringing. I'm saying it humorously, but I sit up here as one who is I'm afraid, very afraid. Because it's one thing to read the Bible, but to now live it, to now see it. To see these demons with earthly feet revealing themselves and showing who and what they really are. And then while trying to still be a moral man and try to hang on to what faith I do have left. Seventh answer, she too, as a woman in this calling, making her sacrifices, we putting our lives on hold to come here and be beacons of light in one of the many factions of black media. All right, and we are not gonna stop. So this is the thumbnail for what, seventh answer?
For the show we doing tomorrow, and these are the party. This is actually the players that's going to be speaking and talking about their encounter. This is actually a congressional meeting dealing with the UAPs, and they're going to be talking about their encounters. The one black guy, he's going to be talking about the incident that he's seen, and then his encounter that he had with them. And then they're gonna in the back. I don't know why it's like that, because it's supposed to be showing the other people that the three witness, which is the black girl, the other two. I'm gonna clean it up, but it's the black girl and the other two dudes. There's a witness of encounters that they had with UAPs out there, and a couple of other what the military officials going to be talking about their encounters and how serious it is, and how the public needs to know, and how the government needs to be transparent with the public about what is going on, and how it is detrimental to their health, because it's causing flights. I mean, they're interfering in their equipment. They're causing blackouts and all types of things. But it's a string of planes been going down. Instead of them saying that what it is, because the last Congress meeting, they talked about how a lot of planes was going down because the interference of the, UAPs. So recently, including out here, a plane went down in the air, landed on the freeway. Before then, like a couple of weeks before then, the plane went down. So it's been numerous accounts of planes going down. And they're not saying nothing about it, but the military officials, the whistleblowers came through and was like, no, it's really them out there messing with flights and things like that. And if you're not equipped or to deal with this type of thing, you're gonna lose control. They said that one of them blacked out and came to his senses, but he was, it still was levitating. Another one said he's seeing a wheel, kind of like the Enoch, where the wheel had fire and this spear and pretty much something else that was following along with it. It's all kinds of things that they're trying to say, and the government is really actually covering it up. And they actually, people that's actually fighting these things, encountering these things, and actually work for them.
Yes. Okay. So now, if you haven't seen the presentation we did, it was 9 months ago. We urge you to go look it up. It is, are we dealing with drones? I'm paraphrasing the title, but it's out there. Just Go into the Lions Den library, and you'll see where Sister Karima and I, we went about 3.5 hours into these drones are not drones. Okay, and just last month in the month of,
We did 2 shows on it, remember?
yeah, okay. What are the names of them? I paraphrased them. But
I'm gonna bring it up to you right now. I'm gonna bring both the show. I'm gonna bring one of
yeah,
them.
we want y'all in the meantime, in between time, to go back and rewatch these shows, watch it in pieces and stuff, because again, it's so information packed. We went so deep. You're gonna have to watch it in pieces and segments unless you have that focused mind to watch it straight through. So anyway, like I said, we're gonna revisit that, because just last month in the month of September, if you recall, there was a Norwegian and Belgian airports. They shut down because some unidentified flying objects were flying over the airport. And as Sister Karima is saying, some of the radiation, some of the electromagnetic power that these ships are generating and these angelic forces are generating is knocking out. It's knocking out the power systems and power grids here on Earth. Yeah, we are definitely in the time of our salvation, brothers and sisters. Make no mistakes about it. All right? And as always, even if you're not a Bible believer, I know some of you out there now, you've been asking questions, you're seeing things that, maybe you better pick up that Bible, blow the dust off of it, and start examining it. That's right. And you should. There was a time in life I didn't believe in the Bible. I didn't believe in God. But let's just say, throughout the course of my life, I was blessed wherein he started having a series of events happen to me that made me realize, okay,
on transparency as well. I mean,
here we
last
go.
year, NASA appointed a director of UAP research in response to the recommendation by the independent study team. In the final report, there's a quote: despite numerous accounts and visuals, the absence of consistent, detailed, and curated observations means we do not presently have the body of data needed to make definite and scientific conclusions about UAP. Can you just talk really quickly about that balance of security and transparency?
So I can say, having served at NASA, it is the most transparent organization I've ever been in. When we would have conversations of executive leadership, things would leak out almost instantly. So I can assure you, intentionally or not, NASA's very transparent. I don't know if many of you worked with engineers or scientists. They love to talk. So I believe that NASA is a paradigm of transparency, but
So in a nutshell, this is where we're coming from.
Must have the ability and the data to be able to be transparent with.
This day, or to the day, I think he's still alive. I don't know if he's alive or not. Give us reparations. You don't.
Incredibly important that civilian pilots have the opportunity to safely report the UAPs that they are seeing or encountering in the air. And I can't express how critical this piece of what I believe is a larger collection of evidence and facts actually happened. We've been approached by pilots. I've talked to folks that have been engaged with our office and others, and there is still enormous stigma. And essentially, we don't have a system where folks are feeling free to be able to report what they're seeing. So I just want to reiterate that that advocacy. Mr. Golden, your testimony discussed NASA's aviation safety reporting system, a confidential, non-punitive reporting mechanism. In the Safe Airspace for Americans Act, we explicitly allow for civilian reporting, of course, of UAPs. Can you explain why the NASA task force recommended the use of the aviation safety reporting system?
The aviation safety reporting system is an existing system that is trusted, that has taken hundreds of thousands, now millions of cases. And again, recognizing budgetary constraints, this seemed like the perfect way to be able to gain more data. And when it comes to the stigma, sir, it's something that pilots are used to reporting on, that crew is used to reporting on. So it's a great way to get data, to overcome the stigma without spending really that much more additional money since the system exists. Thank you so much for your support of that. Thank you for Ryan.
Where the classified technology demonstrations that it could explain the objects that were observed. And then you said the email disappears. Then you guys have a series of meetings. The commander of fleet forces and his operations officer never discussed the incident again. Is that right? Is that accurate?
That's accurate, sir.
And even during weekly meetings, it was never discussed again. My question for you is, you were in those meetings. Did you personally hear that nothing was going on about that?
Yes, sir. I was in those meetings, and
Did you make inquiries about that?
no, I did not, because, sir, because I inferred, since I had been read into other special access programs, that this UAP video was part of one that I was not read into, or any of the recipients, or the author of the email, and that an intelligence agency basically pulled it back and instructed the author of the email, hey, this is, you just conducted what they call spillage into a lower classification level. And when that's done, the procedures are basically to remove any of the communication.
You're going to silo it. So, and you, Mr. Elizondo, you said in your report and your testimony today, a government work on UAP subject still remains classified. Excessive secrecies led to grave misdeeds against loyal civil servants, military personnel, and the public, all to hide the fact that we are not alone in the cosmos. Fair?
Yes, sir.
All right, and all of you, and Mr. Schellenberger, by the way, I've read several of your books, Mr. Schellenberger, excellent stuff. What I would say too is, you were asked about the veracity of the author of this report. You comfortable with the veracity?
Yes.
Okay. And then, and I'll get to you in a second, Mr. Gold. We'll talk about Kuhnian and Lakatoshian scientific advancement and how we're obviating that through these processes. But we'll get to that in a sec, because what I want to really get to is the ultimate question really becomes this: for what purpose is the federal government overclassifying, because that's what they're doing, they're overclassifying and forbidding the public for getting access to this? And if you know, if you have an explanation, I'm curious, because I know what I've been told. I just want to know from your perspective, why do they overclassify? Mr. Elizondo, you look like you're finger on the button, ready to go.
Yes, sir. Forgive me. I think there's several reasons. I think at the time when this reality became evident to the U.S. government, we were in the middle of the Cold War with then Soviet Union, and we did not want to tip our hands to what our knowledge base was on this topic. We did not want to broadcast that to
the Cold War's long over.
It is, sir. It is, sir. There's also then the philosophical argument that the Department of Defense and the intelligence community is solution oriented, and when you don't have answers, it's a really tough spot to be in.
It's easier to be quiet,
press
than if you don't have the answer.
Indeed, sir. In fact, there's a very real example when we built the U-2 spy plane and flew it over. Then
listen up. If you've been injured in
So there you have it. So you go, tell them the name of that episode, and we're going to come back tomorrow.
Mystery drone, the mystery drones that was flying over America. But
there we go.
yeah, that's just the old. That ain't what we plan tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is going to be the new. That's the old meeting of them coming together. Actually, it's like 3 meetings that they have, and they just trying to still be transparent, but they have little other parties that's involved, so they're trying to have their testimony. This is a long precision, so it's taken over years to bring out all this information and all the whistleblowers. So you will see a couple of whistleblowers, and you will see three eyewitness that they say, and you'll see other things.
Yes. And so we want you now to go back and check out that presentation that we did 9 months ago. We're going to give you the update and follow up tomorrow, Lord willing. But in the meantime, between time, thank you for allowing us to come into your mind, soul, and cipher tonight. Stay on point, be vigilant, stay sober, be aware of your surroundings, be careful of the company you keep. As we now are indeed in some perilous times, but still the Lord's mercy is upon us. And in closing, we here at the Lion's Den, the conversation will continue. Lady Karima, Brother Malachi, we salute you. We thank you for your support. Hit that smash and like button. And as always, in the spirit of Don Cornelius, as we close out, we always say, Shalom, we want your peace. Shalom, peace. Aha, because we love you. Okay, I got a little confused over there. And Napash, sanctify, bless, and protect your soul. And we are up out of here.
Deborah, the prophetess. Did you know Deborah was a judge of Israel, a warrior and a strong leader? She led the Israelites to victory against the Canaanites. A prophetess, a leader, her legacy supreme. She stood strong, guided her people with true leadership. In a time of doubt and fear, with a message so clear. Judges 4:6-7. And Deborah sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and of the children of Zebulun. So when you look at leadership, it's a beautiful design. God's plan, a duo, male and female, aligned, working together, hand in hand, executing God's plan with purpose and command. As co-creators, stewards of the land, reflecting God's image in every rebirth, united in every chapter of life with a shared vision. Together they achieve with precision and decision. Did you know? Genesis 2:24, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. A woman's voice with a powerful message that empowers the Most High children's, making moves with the hand that's dealt. It's a powerful choice. She was never just created for herself, a divine individual, unlike anything else, with Adam's help. So when you look at leadership, it's a beautiful design. God's plan, a duo, male and female, aligned. Judge and know, Deborah, you know. Judge and know, judge and know. Judge and know, judge and know. So when you look at leadership, then Deborah sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali. Yeah, it said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw towards Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and of the children of Naphtali, and of the children of Naphtali. So when you look at leadership, it's a beautiful design. God's plan, a duo, male and female, aligned, working together, hand in hand, executing God's plan with purpose and command. As co-creators, stewards of the land, reflecting God's image in every rebirth, united in every chapter of life with a shared vision. Together they achieve with precision and decision. Did you know? Genesis 2:24, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. with a powerful message that empowers the most high children's making moves with the hand that's dealt. It's a powerful choice. She was never just created for herself, a divine individual unlike anything else. With Adam's help, with Adam's help.